Well, good morning to you. Oh, the stinger's still off. Whoops. Just faded right in to the show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Time for some more morning coffee. We got a full week ahead of us. Conversations. We got gameplay. We got stuff to do, stuff to talk about. Good morning, gangs. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your evening. Actually, no, yeah, chat's supposed to be sub-only right now over there. Whoops, I shouldn't have turned that off. There we go. Yeah. Hopefully you guys have been playing a lot of video games. There's so many video games to play. Played a lot of Borderlands with Madam. What's good, Harry? Good to see you. MTO said, Lono hooked on Vampire Survivors. That's wild. I never thought he would like that type of game. I don't know why you're saying I'm hooked on it. I've actually not played it in quite a while. I played it with my son on Saturday for a little bit. He wanted to play it. I played it a bunch with my nephews every time we've been in Ohio. So maybe you were looking at like my hours logged in the game. So, but yeah, my son and I, he wanted to play it on Saturday. We had a pretty good time with it, and then he switched to Fortnite. So. Can't put Borderlands 4 down. My wife and I played last night, and we still are like, we're not moving the story along. We're just clearing the map. I told her, I was like, okay, next time we play, I was like, we'll be able to move the story forward. She was like, I don't even know what's going on with the story. I was like, well, we haven't really done anything with the story. So, you're hooked on Soulstone Survivors, similar type of game. Yeah, there's been a handful. There's been a handful of like little rogue games. Somebody sent one in the Discord. It had like a picture of like a wolf guy on it, and it looked like it could be really good, but it was a Steam game. How old are the kids now? Harry is asking. How old are the kids now? My daughter is 11, and in just a couple of months, they're both gonna level up. She's 11, and my son is 9. So he's about to have the big one. She's still a year away from one of her big ones, right? The 13. So she'll be 12, and he'll be 10. Yep. And right now they're both doing like school and soccer. My son's actually pretty good. He's gotten even better. I put him as like, I don't use any official position names because I think it confuses the kids because they're 8 and they're 9. So like when I put you on center offense, like you're basically like lead, like striker, forward, whatever you want to call him. I told him, I said I got to rest our stronger players. I usually put our strongest player in goalie and my other player bench, so they're resting. They do 4 quarters. And so, because they're, they don't do the 2 halves thing, and they do 4 quarters because they're young. So usually I rest my best players in the third, so they're fresh for fourth. And in third, I told him, I said, you gotta own this. And man, he tore it up out there. He didn't score, but he would not give this other team an inch. Like, he crushed it. It was awesome. Thank you, Lone Wolf. 6 months of subs over here on Purple. I don't know why that started a hype train, but it did. Let's get that started. The member battle, and now it's gonna be. Let's see here. Let me get I can't see it. There we go. Yeah. Let's get that off of there. Although that probably could be the same goal this week as well. Yeah, we got a couple coming in. We got Hilly renewing, Frayed Voyager renewing. Thank you, boys. 6 months for Frayed, 10 months for Hilly. It's a long time. Appreciate you. I remember when you were coming on stream saying you're reading their first books. That's insane. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, they were reading their first books. Oh, yeah, they're ravenous readers. They still read a lot. And they get to play video games on Saturday. Currently, they're in a slump. They can't really find anything they want to play. And they try like little games here and there, but they end up back in Fortnite and all those goofy games that people have made. And I try to persuade them to play other things, but They love those silly little games in Fortnite. Midfield general, you love to see it. Yeah, I mean, he owned it. He kept the pressure. He kept the ball on their side of the field like the whole time. Just a maniac. And I could tell by the way he was playing, he was trying to prove something to me because he really wants to play offense. He can play every position. That's what's really impressive about him. When he's on defense, he doesn't just clear the ball. He puts it into good open space and also turns sometimes a clear into a pass, which is a huge thing as a defender. A lot of my defenders just kick the ball as hard as they can, which is great. I mean, it's helpful, you know, when a player of lesser skill can at least just get to the ball and send it. But he's also really good on offense as well because he knows where to put the ball. He's not exactly he wouldn't score very often, but him and his buddy, they play really well together. And I told him, I was like, dude, there are people in some of the upper levels of like league play that lead in assists, and that's a badge of honor, you know? That's a badge of honor, man. Like, you see the fields differently than most kids your age. Like, you see opportunity, and most kids just see a ball that they're trying to kick hard. I 100% in Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Am I crazy for saying this is game of the year over DK or Claire? I mean, it's personal. It's personal, right? Like, Shinobi Art of Vengeance for me is one of my favorite games this year. It's one of the best platformers I've ever played. Like, it's phenomenal. Like, I enjoyed it more than Silksong. I put Silksong down. The runbacks drove me crazy. I was like, I'm not having fun. I was like, I play video games to have fun, and they built a game that centers around pain and basically being a Souls-like platformer. And I was like, that's not what I was buying. I thought I was buying a Metroidvania with some teeth. And Silksong's a 2D Souls-like. It doesn't feel like a Metroidvania at all. So, I enjoyed Shinobi. I couldn't put it down. I couldn't put down Silksong fast enough. I was like, I am not having fun. It was one of my most anticipated games this year, and I could not believe. I mean, I put like 10 or 11 hours into it. I mean, I put some time into the game. So it wasn't like I played for 30 minutes and put it down. Like, I tried to make it work, and I was just like, you know what? I don't like this. I'm not having a good time, and I'm not going to force it. Favorite game of all time? I can't ever really pick a favorite game of all time. I think that's such a difficult thing to do because at different times in your life, a game becomes central. You know, I'm working on a script for my long video on Ghost of Tsushima. And as I'm rewatching like a supercut of all of the scenes, it's like, man, oh man, I forgot some of these moments. I forgot how good this game. I mean, I knew the game was good because it landed on me and I loved it. But like, there's just things that you forget with time. And there's also games that, like, at a certain point in your life, the alarm went off on my phone. I was like, what the heck is going on? There are games that, like, a certain point in your life, they become this sort of all-encompassing thing. You know, like, there was a time where, like, all I played was Destiny. And Destiny basically gave me a career in streaming, right? And in content creation. You know, I don't know if back in the day I would have had the wherewithal and the tenacity and the grit to just make it work with variety. You know what I mean? Because that's what I was trying to do. And so there was a time where I probably been like, yeah, Destiny is like my favorite game because of like just, you know, everything that it did for me. But then there was a time where like all I played was Quake 3. Like, this is back in the day when I was, like, in a clan and stuff. You know, so that's all I played was Quake 3. There was a time where all I played was GoldenEye. So there's, like, stages of your life where, like, a game is the centrality of what you're doing. And now, if somebody was like, pick your all-time favorite game, it's like, I don't even know. Like, games that sort of consume me and always I can come back to, like Returnal. You know, there's games like Tsushima that I feel like had this impact. There's Hellblade 1. Usually I would pick Hellblade 1. People are like, what's your all-time favorite game? What's your most favorite game? I would usually say Hellblade 1. I've always argued that it's the most complete video game as art game out there. Again, that's my opinion, but I think it's the most complete video game as art game, which is what made, the second game so incredibly disappointing. So there we go. All right, we got that scheduled. I had to get the live stream scheduled. We're doing things a little bit differently now. Now that we brought back morning coffee, nobody seems to have figured out what has happened to the platform with the view count thing. Josh Drive Hayes probably has the best working theory that I've seen. He has two what I would consider to be very, very good videos. He's very thorough. He is extremely thorough. And I think he has an excellent working theory, probably the most close to the bullseye that I've ever seen of all the people talking about this. What did the first Hellblade do? The second did not. The first Hellblade had a compelling story. It had a combat system that was enjoyable. It had puzzles that were well built and interesting. Bellier's pretty close on it. I've not seen Bellular's theory. So Josh Strife Hayes' theory is channels that have been hurt the worst are long form where a big chunk of their audience watches on PC. And at the exact same time that this happened, Adblocker Plus reported, significant problems, and there was high reports of down issues with YouTube on this day, around this time. So it is Josh Strife Hayes' theory that the reason some of these channels have experienced this huge drop in viewership, but the revenue hasn't moved that much, is they're changing how views are counted, basically with respect to if you're running an ad blocker. So basically, if there's like 5,000 views in the mix, 5 to 10,000 views in the mix that are on, PC, and they're running an ad blocker, YouTube's like, we don't care about that. We don't want to see that in the data because it's not generating revenue. So, Josh Strife Hayes described it as an arms race against ad blockers, and I'm not really sure why they would necessarily do this, because I would think what you would want to do is break the ad blocker, not break the view. But I think in their mind, what matters most is views to dollars needs to be more accurate. Bellier's theory on this exactly, but I have a potential theory in conjunction. Maybe I'm way off here. Would also lead to more sophisticated audiences impacting those streams more. One of the reasons we didn't feel it as much is because we were already in a pretty significant tailspin, and it was because of what they did with members content. So we were suffering from a completely different animal. Like, YouTube basically murdered our ability to grow because they were putting members-only content on everybody's homepage that subscribed to me or was even, recommended my content, and it was like, what the frick? Why am I seeing this guy's content? So every time we had a big surge in subs from, a Summer Game Fest or something, we would just lose people every day after because they were getting fed content they couldn't watch. Now, we have obviously rectified that, and we're seeing things turn around. We've never been significantly reliant on ad revenue because of you guys. That's why I've continued to impress upon people, supporting directly is a significant aspect of what I do. We didn't have to, if I was dependent on ad revenue at the size that we are, I couldn't do this full time. It wouldn't be possible. Wouldn't even remotely be possible. Unless I was, single and, living in a shack or something. Because the amount of ad revenue we generate is just very, very minimal. We're not a large channel. And that's just totally normal. So we didn't feel the pain on that side. We felt the pain on, we can't grow. We're not meeting new people. And it was because every time we would meet new people, the platform would immediately incentivize those people to unsub. So Josh Strife Hayes' theory is probably the best working theory that I've seen, that YouTube detects the ad block and doesn't count the view. Because they're like, that's not a view. You're, I think it's bad data, I guess is how I would put it. Their philosophy, I would think, is that it's bad data. So they're like, if a video gets 20,000 views and only 14,000 of those views are actually counting towards revenue, then we should only show 14,000 views. I don't know if people are not able to watch. That would be a greater concern. The greater concern would be, did the viewer drop-off happen because people are like, I can no longer use the platform? Because around the time that this happened, there were people reporting the only way they could watch YouTube, the only way they could get YouTube to load was by disabling Adblocker Plus. I don't know if that's still true or not. What I'm hearing is that Google only sees me as a source of revenue and not as a whole person. That's exactly correct, yes. The machine has no reason to see you as anything other than a data point. The machine is cold. It's dispassionate. It's the most complex calculator in existence. It doesn't give a crap about the numbers, what's behind the numbers, even though the thing behind the number is a person. I'm shocked. Yes, I'm shocked and appalled. I have ad blocker and I watch YouTube videos all the time. What do you think about the AI thing? If you're making long form and someone just clicks summarize video, I wonder how that may hurt a video's views, if any. Oh, you think like AI? I was probing it about potential downfalls in views for content creators, and it basically stated it could hurt views. It totally could hurt views, Omar. But not this quickly. Like, I don't think overnight thousands of channels had hundreds of thousands of users that were like, well, I'm no longer going to watch the video. I'm going to ask AI to summarize the video. I mean, it was like this. I mean, it was like a light switch for people. Now, you could argue over time, Omar, you could foster that engagement where people are like, an hour-long video, give me the high points, right? Give me the highlights here. Like, you know, there might be people to do that. Generally speaking, I don't think that will ever be the norm because people come to YouTube to be entertained, educated, provoked, whatever. They're not going to get that from an AI summary. Like, if I do an hour-long video about Tsushima, the average user of the platform is going to want to listen to it, be educated, entertained, thought-provoked. You're just not going to get that from some cold bullet point summary from AI. So there will certainly be people that do that. Not to this scale. This was like overnight, views just disappeared from the platform. I've used it on videos where I just want to get to the point personally. Right, but again, that's a particular instance and a particular use study, right? You're like, well, I was just trying to get the information. I have done that myself. Whenever I was reacting to Destiny content creators, I was like, what are the main problems here? And it told me what Astacross's main issues were. And I went to certain timestamps, and I used those timestamps when I did my reaction content. It helped me work way faster. I was able to grab 3 or 4 Destiny content creator videos, hone in on the exact point of the video that I wanted to use without having to watch every single video. But 9 times out of 10 in the morning, I'm just listening to Jack Saints or Bellular or Josh Strife Hayes. I'm just throwing them on in the background and just listening to them. So I don't think the average user who's got the YouTube app or YouTube pulled up on their, you know, their computer are going to be doing that to this degree. This was like, this was immediate. It was like, what in the world happened? That's why everybody thought there has to be something. Somebody flipped a switch somewhere that did this. Test that theory. Upload a video and unlist it and have 10 people watch it with 5 of them using ad blocker and 5 normal. The hype button thing also comes out. I highly doubt this is all to do with ad blocker. I'm telling you, Josh Strife Hayes' theory video that he just came out with is extremely compelling. It is very compelling. The day that this all went down in the analytics, where desktop just plummeted in people's numbers, was a day where a bunch of people were recording they couldn't get on YouTube unless they turned off ad blocker. You could test it, though. Well, certainly some people could test it. Yeah, they could. But we don't even know if that's what it is, though, Paul. It could be that people that were previously able to watch with ad blocker are just no longer able to watch. I don't know if they've rectified it or not. Johnny Always, thank you for 52 months. That's a lot of months over here on Purple, man. Thank you so much. That's insane. That is a lot of months. Adblock has something from getting on. This is a particular one. This is an extension called Adblock Plus, the one that people use on Chrome. I don't know if that's the one that's in your browser. I have to refresh the video almost every time because ad blocking is also built into my browser. I never see a YouTube video. I'm sorry, I never see YouTube out of my PC. I see them constantly on TV. I watch YouTube with ad blocker so people can watch with it on. No need to count that. I'm sure I subscribed for 52 last week. Yeah, I don't care. I'll count it. Chrome doesn't support it anymore. Oh, yeah, maybe not. I don't even know. I don't know. Who's the YouTuber you mentioned has a compelling video? Josh Strife Hayes. Every single word in that is spelled the way that you think it'd be spelled. Josh Strife Hayes. He's an excellent content creator. He's one of the best. Very, very thorough, very charming, and very nice guy. I think I did a show with him once, didn't I? Way back in the day, we did a podcast. Weren't we on the same podcast together? Who did I do a podcast? I did a podcast with somebody, and Josh was there. We were planning on doing some content together, but it just never happened. Was it with Ginger? It might have been with Ginger. Yeah, I think I've been on a podcast with him before. It was a long time ago. This is kind of before he was big time. Like, he's kind of big time now. It hasn't gone to his head. He doesn't act like a big time, but he's pretty big now. And you can see why. Like, he does very good work. He does very thorough work. I think what really, really catapulted his growth, a particular video really put him into the stratosphere, and it was his video about Diablo Immortal, and he called it Diablo Immoral. The thumbnail's fantastic. It's just, yeah, it was when I saw that video take off the way that it did, I was like, well, there you go. Welcome to the big leagues, brother. That's the way. You have that one video, man, and people are like, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's been massive for years. I think he's always been a big content creator. I don't think he's ever been particular. Like, there was probably a time where he was small, but I mean, like, what really put him up in lights was that Diablo Immortal video. And then his Playing Awful MMOs series is fantastic. Like, it's just, I mean, come on. Just what a brilliant idea. To play really bad MMOs and to bring them down. I mean, you know, I'm surprised that the UK and just British people in general, I'm very surprised they haven't disowned him because of his switch to coffee. I thought that was a very dangerous move for his career. You know, he played Alan Wake and he switched to coffee, and I was like, oh no. They're going to come for you, sir. They're going to come for you. Do I think Borderlands 4 is in the Game of the Year voting? No. No. I'm from UK and switched to coffee. You'd be very careful sharing that information. You know, they're going to knock on your door. The fuzz is going to show up. I'm like, you did what? I'm just kidding. Anyway, he's rather dishy too. If you're saying he's good looking, I agree with you. He is handsome. It's unfair. There are certain men that have just unfair advantages, you know. Josh Strife Hayes is, you know, is adjacent to Ben Starr. You know, these handsome men with great accents. It's like, okay, that's fine. Are you also tall? Like, frick you. Are you also over 6 feet? Frick you. How many advantages can one man have? Like, man, oh man. Golly. Yeah. I've got kind of a review in progress of Borderlands 4. Yeah. Don't hate. It's the opposite of hate. I've been very honest about the fact that some of my man crushes that I have. I mean, Ben Starr is definitely one of them. He is. What helps Ben Starr is he's just so funny. He's just so funny. That is immediately leveling up your attractiveness. I'm like, oh, he's funny. And then like Henry Cavill is a gamer and like really into video games. Like that levels you up, brother. Review in progress. My coworker beat it in just a weekend. Like, just straight line the campaign, or do they like no life it and do everything? My wife and I are enjoying it. We play for a couple of hours in the evening, and I'm just clearing the map. Like, I am just taking my time. I am taking my time. And you know what they nailed? They seemingly nailed the first playthrough. I don't feel like I felt like in Borderlands 3 at all. I don't. In Borderlands 3, I very quickly was like, all these side missions and side activities are a waste of freaking time because you're just over-leveling me. I haven't felt like that once in Borderlands 4. I feel like I'm constantly getting loot that's right around my level. If I'm a 13, I've got a bunch of 12s that I'm using. Now, I'm not constantly showered with 13s, but I feel like the hemisphere of the loot is consistently where I am. Like, Madam and I were playing last night, and we both were like, oh my gosh, why are our guns feel so weak? Well, we were like level 12 characters, and we were rocking some level 9s. Like, all of our stuff was level 9s. I hadn't really combed over our loot in a while. I was like, okay, hang on a second. So I just equipped some greens and blues that were at level, and we immediately felt the difference, and we're like, okay, cool, we're fine. Let's keep going. My purples are better than the few legendaries I got. Some of the legendaries aren't that great. The best legendary I found is Bonnie and Clyde. That thing, the perk that it has is stupidly good. You as soon as you get a kill, you switch to the other mode, and it's immediately reloaded for the other firing mode, and you get 100% damage bonus. So you're just like shotgun, get a kill, you switch to the machine gun style, or the assault rifle style or whatever. It's one of the best I've used. Ray needs to stop tweeting. He is making I take Twitter away from him. I appreciated some of his candor when this conversation first started because he was just being honest. He was like, if you're going to play the game on weaker hardware, don't expect things to go that well. And then we found out that the guy from Destructoid was having issues with his computer anyway. Now, it's like, Randy, no. This isn't you just being frank and honest about people that might be using like weaker hardware. You're just being ridiculous. Like, you're not at all helping. You're making this ridiculous. Admit that there's stuff that needs to be done and say that you're committed to fixing it, and then just end the conversation. This isn't even a matter of PR. Like, I don't need a CEO to like stroke my ego and do like PR friendly speak. It's like you're actively damaging the product. You're not helping. He's saying nonsense. I can't upgrade my computer anymore. My performance is not good. Right, like, what up, Bruce Lona? What's up, Broken Lobo? Like, I've had no major issues. Now, obviously, I'm not maybe pushing for the level of performance that you're pushing for, Z-Bear, but I've had zero issues on my 5070 Ti. I am not representative of the PC market at large. So it's like, people that are on equipment that should be able to run this game are having a pretty bad time. And he's like, well, go in and tweak settings, and go in and turn on this, and go in and do this. And it's like, you're not, this is not the way. This is not the way. Yeah, I saw the updates on Wolverine's release window has been set. Venom apparently is happening, but it's ways away. Which, that is shocking. That feels so backwards. It feels to me like next year would be Venom, or Venom would be a surprise this year, and then, Wolverine would come after. But Insider Gaming and other sources are now claiming from reliable sources that Venom is in fact real, but it's not even close, and Wolverine's next year. Which I feel like we knew Wolverine was next year. Yeah, no, a lot of us thought Venom wasn't coming. There was recent rumors it had been canned, and now the rumor is that no, Venom is happening. It's just further out. Yeah, Tony Todd passed away. The voice actor for Venom passed away, so maybe they're going to get somebody else. Or I think the one rumor was that he already recorded all of his lines. Yo, it's good, Light Leap. How are you? You saw what Nintendo did? I mean, you could be referring to anything. It's Nintendo after all. Tony Todd said he recorded a lot of unused dialogue. Maybe they want Venom to lead directly into Spider-Man 3. The minimum and recommended specs are published. The most common hardware is a 4-year-old cell phone. Borderlands 4 is a premium game made for premium gamers. Just as Borderlands. Cell phones, what? Premium gamers? Well, again, I think what Randy's trying to drive at, rather unsuccessfully, is like the most common hardware that people are using to play PC games is pretty weak. What he's not doing, though, is he's just not engaging in good faith. He's not engaging in good faith. It's like, listen, Randy, if people are trying to play your game below minimum specs, they have no right to complain. They're not reading the instructions on the box. But that's not what's happening. There are tons of people with completely adequate PCs that cannot get your game to run well. And being like, well, you need to go tweak settings. You need to be willing to compromise this, that, and the third. And it's like, that's not the issue. The issue is the game is not optimized. Like, you can't acknowledge issues in one breath and then do this dismissive thing in the next, because it seems like you're dismissing people that have genuine problems as like, well, they're not willing to go in and tweak settings. And it's like, but that's not what's going on. The Venom abilities were part of the game for me. Oh, well, the best part of the game for me, the story seemed childish compared to the first game. I thought the story was weak in Spider-Man 2. I didn't like it. Yeah. Making me play as Mary Jane was stupid. What they did with Mary Jane was stupid. I didn't like any of that. I thought Spider-Man 2 story was like the weakest of the three. Brokey's got all excited when they found out a 5090 can't run a 60 FPS native 4K. Black Myth Wukong, which is 1 year old, now can't hit 40 FPS in 4K native max settings for what it's worth. Yeah, but I mean, anybody trying to do native 4K is going to be having an issue. I guess it obviously depends on the game, but like native 4K is that's a pretty tall order. I disagree, but that's my opinion. There are plenty of people that like the story in Spider-Man 2. I thought it was weak. I didn't think it was particularly good. It was just more, it just felt, I don't know. Craven was extremely throwaway. Venom was the best part, but they made everybody focus on Craven, which I thought was like weird. And then I thought the stuff that they did with with Peter and Harry and Miles, I don't know. I just didn't think it was that great. I didn't say I didn't enjoy it. I just think it was weaker than the first game. If I was to rank the stories, Spider-Man 1 and Miles are better. It's not. I wasn't like having a bad time. I just thought it was a weaker story. The optimization chart they released for Borderlands 4 is wild. What is the problem with saying performance is not where we want it, and we will keep working to improve it? Wolverine in the next state of play? No idea. A lot of smoke around Wolverine, though, Petrov. A lot of smoke. My gut is that the state of play this month, if they call it a state of play, it's shaping up to basically be a showcase. Now, it could be a mid-gen showcase where they're like casting a vision for the next 3 years, because I feel like maybe they feel like they need to do that. They want to go into the second half with a strong push. The recent earnings report that just came out from PlayStation looks very good. It again pushes back against a lot of the notions that people were saying that, like, well, they're going to make so much more money multi-plat. So much of their money still comes from hardware. I still think they're going to be very hardware focused. I don't think they're going to abandon that. I mean, basically every single person I saw doing analysis of that chart was like, yeah, this pretty much repudiates a lot of the narratives we were seeing after what happened with Helldivers 2. Everyone's like, yeah, here we go, full slate. That's what they're doing. Da, 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 da. And I always said, I was like, I just don't think there's signs of that. Look at the lack of hiring. Look at the lack of changes. at the companies that are working on games that are going to be coming out in the next 3 to 5 years. We're not seeing any changes, so I don't know when they think this plan is going to take place, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening anytime soon. And then the recent reports came out. So now would be a great time for a mid-gen like showcase to like really cast this strong vision. I just don't think they're doing showcases anymore. I think they're just going to go. They just shifted to everything being a state of play, which I think is confusing because you have a Borderlands state of play, and you have a Yote state of play, and then you have, what was the recent one that made everybody mad? Was it Borderlands? It might have been the Borderlands one where people are like, why are they doing a Borderlands state of play? And it's like, they're partnering with their third-party, partners to do, to really cement themselves as the leader. But then it doesn't really differentiate when they do their own. But Nintendo did the same thing. Everything's a Nintendo Direct now. They'll do a Nintendo Direct with a bunch of indies, and then they'll do a Nintendo Direct where it's almost all their stuff. They really thought they were cooking with this suit. I don't get why people don't like that suit. I think the suit looks fine. Hang on, I have some people to thank. D487 with 6 months of members. I missed this. Burning my member chat. He is right. Make a better studio engine platform. Isn't Jonathan Blow making a better compiler? I have no idea what you're referring to. And then a gifted member renewal from Tactical Gamer. Why do people say PC is the best to play when we have this conversation regarding optimization and performance every other big release? It's ridiculous. I mean, this is one of the issues with PC, is that there's just a lot of moving parts. So nothing that's happening with Borderlands is an indictment of anybody's hardware. Synth Potato, he and I have always, I felt like, gotten along on Twitter, but I did not agree with him when he was like, what's going on with the Pro? And then he lists 3 Unreal 5 games. And I'm like, it's Unreal 5, brother. Like, Metal Gear Solid is not an indictment of the Pro. Borderlands is certainly not an indictment of the Pro. It's not an indictment of PCs either. It's an Unreal 5 thing. Like, we've seen this pattern time and time again. And then Chronos The New Dawn wasn't PS5 Pro enhanced, but it still ran really well. I didn't see any complaints about how it ran. But I just kind of had to disagree with him. I was like, I don't think this is an indictment of the Pro. The Pro has consistently got really good PS5 Pro enhancements. The list of PS5 Pro enhanced games is very long. It's way longer than this handful of UE5 games. So I think the mistake that people are making on all sides is Borderlands is not an indictment of PCs. It's not an indictment of the Pro. It's the game itself. No, Borderlands 4 is not Pro enhanced, and it doesn't run great on the base PS5. I have had no issues with Borderlands on my Pro. There are some stutters and some hitches, but that's like an engine-wide problem. It's doing that on my PC as well. Now, the latest patch on PC, I'm going to play some more today, and we'll see. I ran around yesterday and didn't really notice anything. Yo, Cardoc Ren with 49 months, welcome back. Thank you very much. Did my camera just... No, wrong one. Oh, there we go. No, it's good. Yeah. It looked like it moved. Why run games so bad in UE5? It's never this simplistic. It's not an indictment of UE5 either. UE5 is a very capable engine. It just takes work. We have played games this gen in UE5 that have been perfectly fine. Is it the open world? Possibly. Is it the inclusion of lighting systems that make things heavy? Possibly. Like, there's a lot of razor blades here. So is it like Destiny? If so, I'll get it. I mean, it is and it isn't, FCAT. It's very much Borderlands. It's like if I were to make you, a bowl of soup and put a little sriracha in there. You could taste the sriracha, but it would still be, like, the primary ingredient in the soup would be whatever it is that you ordered. You order, like, a broccoli cheddar, and I put a little sriracha in there. You're like, yeah, I can taste the sriracha. Like, you can taste the Destiny influence. You can. But it's not Destiny. Like, when I'm doing open world activities and having to hold a position and, like, waves of enemies are coming, I'm very much like, oh yes, this is such a public event. but it is Borderlands. It is not Destiny. Like it's actually surprisingly, I feel like the abilities, especially in the early game, they don't feel as prominent. Maybe I'm not using them enough. I got a really, really fun ordnance. I feel like the heavy ordnance is something that people are really going to miss out on if they default to grenades. Had to find this, but it was so appropriate to put him next to trash bags here. I don't get what's wrong with the suit. The suit was trash. Why, though? Why did people not like that Miles Morales suit? I don't get it. What's the issue? Is it because his hair is coming out the top, or is it the colors? I don't get what the issue is. Like, I look at it and I'm like, that looks cool. It's so ugly. You just keep reasserting that it doesn't look nice. Why? It's all of it, the whole thing. I appreciate your intellectual breakdown after numerous questions. That's excellent. Thank you. We've established that it's ugly, it's bad, it's all of it. Wonderful. This is like watching 5 seconds of Siskel and Ebert. This is great. I'd like to see the suit y'all are talking about. They don't like this suit. Hang on, let me use this computer. It's the advertisement for Adidas also. Oh, the sneakers? Taste is vibes based. But you're not saying anything. The colors, the cutoff mask, the white sneakers with the black suit. Yeah, I actually would agree that the sneakers don't look good. I do agree with that. They stand out. They stand out in a way that doesn't look conducive to, like, just good, cohesive design. The reason that I didn't really notice anything in the first picture is, like, oh, hang on, all my stuff's going to be wrong because Madam and I were playing. Let's do this. Yeah, like, I remember this picture circulating, and I remember people being, like, really, really upset. And it was hard for me to not think that it was the hair. Like, if you just had a normal Spider-Man hood on, people would have been like, oh, that's fine. He's got, like, a hoodie that he could pull up that might look kind of cool. You know, the colors, the textures. I felt like the hair is what made people say, what the frick? You know what I mean? But I didn't mind it. I kind of thought it was dope. I don't know. I make sure my hair looks nice. You know? It's like, well, let the hair show. It looks like a pineapple. The hood is useless. Wait, you're going to criticize Spider-Gwen's outfit then? She's got a hood. The hood's for show. You can put a little style on them, you know? Imagine Peter's hair sticking out. Well, you know, Peter had the hair of like a college intern that doesn't sleep enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no good reason to show off Peter's hair. I agree. When you can see the full outfit, the white sneakers do look kind of funky, but the hair didn't bother me at all. I thought the hair added personality to Miles's outfit. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I thought he looked dope in the second game. I thought his longer hair was cool. You know, in the first game, it was high and tight, and you know, in the second game, it was more grown out. I thought it looked dope, and it was like, oh yeah, I don't have a problem with that. It's like a costume, but he's one of 5 real-life people with that haircut also. I thought the white variant was the best version. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, everybody's going to feel differently about this sort of thing. And, you know. Yeah, like, this doesn't bother me. Now, obviously, if you're like, oh, product placement, Adidas, ew, whatever. I don't know. This looks There are so many different styles in the game. You can make Spider-Man look ridiculous. There are so many different ways to make him look. For that one to be like, oh my gosh, that's so bad. Why? Why can I see his hair? Why? It's like, oh my gosh. Okay. The hairstyle's so bad. What's wrong with the hairstyle? Little Google the Killmonger hairstyle. You think I need educated about this? You genuinely right now think that I need educated on the Killmonger hairstyle and how a bunch of studios use the same hairstyle at the same time. Likely because they all saw the movie and thought, Michael B. Jordan looks sick, let's use that hairstyle. You think I don't know that, like, black folk have had to choose between, like, bald afro and braids for, like, 20 years, and you guys are finally getting good hair in video games, you know? You're a black man? You want to be in a video game? Okay, cool. Afro, bald, or braids. That's all we got. Like, come on. This isn't my first rodeo, bro. On God. Like, come on. It's like, these guys have some sick hairstyles. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Spend 5 minutes at a barber shop and just look at pictures. And you're like, okay, cool. We've got some good hairstyles for our video game now. And so they're like, well, I mean, they're afro, bald, or braids. Afro, bald, or braids. Gee, many Christmas. And then these nerdy guys go to see Marvel movies, and you're like, well, he looks cool. Look at his glasses. They make him look intellectual. And his jean jacket. Let's use that hairstyle. And then all the games come out, and they're all like, oh, you did it too? Oh, no. Oh, we look stupid. It wasn't intentional. No one was like, let's all do this. It was literally well intended. You know, everybody showed up dressed up as the same character for Halloween kind of thing, right? It's like everybody saw the same movie and thought, I'm going as Joker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody went as the Joker that one year. And everybody was mad at each other because they were all Joker. And a bunch of nerdy white guys were like, that is a cool hairstyle, so we're going to use that. And then all their games came out, and and black people were like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, come on. You've got to be kidding me. Incredible Black says, that looks stupid. I'd rather be bald. That's good. That's what's happened. That's exactly what happened. I'm telling you. Somebody showed up at all these studios with a picture of Michael B. Jordan, and they were like, this is the hairstyle. His face was on so many cork boards in so many dev studios. You know what I'm saying? Blame Michael B. Jordan. It's his fault. It's his fault for looking so fly. It is 100% his fault. They're like, yep, that makes sense. Blame him. Blame the black guy, you know? Gee, many Christmas. Whoo-wee. What is this? Hang on, I gotta forward this to my wife. What the heck is this? She's trying to get something replaced with McCormick. He should be getting royalties. He really, really should. It shows a lack of motivation to even try to come up with the black hairstyle. It's the epitome of lazy. Oh, for sure. Like, well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be. I think you're going a little too far. I think it was an attempt to say, it was literally an attempt to say, that looks cool, let's do that. It's like trench coats, brother. After the Matrix, like, all of a sudden, long coats were cool. And, like, everybody's wearing long coats in, you know, movies. And, you know, It was like when Oakley's became popular. It's like when anything becomes popular, when anything looks cool, that's just going to be a thing. Is like it's going to create like almost like an infection of like, oh, we all need to do that thing. I don't think it was laziness. Like, well, rather than try and come up with the genuine or authentic black hairstyle to represent, you know, persons of color, let's just use this one. I don't think it was laziness. I think it was literally, that looks cool, let's do it. It was that simple. Like, there are plenty of times where you'll see things like that rhythmically show up in video games. It happens all of the time, right? You've seen it with like just Elden Ring alone. Like, Elden Ring alone, I think, has caused that like ripple effect of games similar, like, you know, with Souls and stuff. Lack of intent doesn't equate to a lack of harm. I don't know if we would argue harm here, other than an unfortunate coincidence. I don't think there was anything lazy about it or malicious about it. It was literally just, wow, that is a really cool hairstyle, and he's such a strong leading man in that movie. I actually think Michael B. Jordan outacts Chadwick Boseman. Like, Boseman's too reserved. He's too calm in that movie. And we probably now know why. He was probably very reserved. Some of it could have been him dealing with his illness. But Michael B. Jordan steals the show. And I think people thought, well, he's a strong leading character with a great haircut. Let's use that. I don't know. Yeah, they changed everybody's hair, though. Going to Spider-Man 2, Omar, they changed MJ's hair, they changed Peter's hair, they changed Miles' hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got an updo to a certain degree. Oh, shoot. We got to go. It's 10 o'clock. I forgot. Morning coffee. We got to have a hard exit at 5 till. Let's have a great show. It seems like the platform is behaving itself. I got a lot of things to discuss with you guys. You guys on Twitch don't need to do anything. Just hang tight. But you guys on YouTube, use that link, and then I will redirect you. All right? So you guys on Purple, I'll be back in a moment. You guys on YouTube, use that link. Let's get the like count going. Let's have a strong week, man. All right? I'll see you guys over there in a minute.